Hey, my name is Isaac. I run Lotus Kendamas, and I'm going to teach you the first 5 tricks you should learn on a kendama. These 5 tricks are what I teach everybody when I'm first showing them kendama. It gives you a really good foundation to build off of. For these tricks, I'm using the Lotus Kendamas Black Bloom, which you may have gotten from me in person at an event, or on Amazon, or on the Lotus Kendamas website. But it is the perfect kendama for beginners because it can do all the tricks that intermediate and advanced players can do, but it also gives beginner players a big advantage because of the size of the cups, the size of the stalls, and the sticky paint. I'm in my local park right now where I play kendama every day. I've been playing kendama for about 10 years. I try to play an hour a day. A lot of people think that you're supposed to play kendama in a certain way, like you're supposed to do a specific trick over and over again, but that's not true. Kendama is all about creativity, thinking of your own trick, trying that trick, and finally and hopefully landing that trick. Like for example, when I first started playing after I got Big Cup, I wanted to do a trick where I brought the Ken all the way around the ball and caught it again. And after 10 years of playing, I could get it, but it first took me an hour to do. So I was just in my room playing for an hour, trying it, and I finally got it and felt really good. And that's what kendama is about. Some quick important information. So this is the Ken. This is the tama with a T, even though the whole word is kendama. This is the Ken, this is the tama. It's attached with a string. We got a big cup, we got a small cup, and you can tell the difference by looking at them or by looking at where the string comes out of. If you're right-handed and you play, if the string comes out to the left, that means the big cup is on top. We got the base cup or bottom cup down here. This is called the hole or the bevel, and this is the spike. There's a lot of other terms that you'll learn eventually, but this kind of covers the base for now. So kendama has been around for a while, and there's been tens of thousands of tricks that have already been made up. So as a new player, you can go in the route of learning tricks that have already been done or creating your own tricks for the first time. And I recommend a little bit of both. I recommend learning some tricks that have already been done, like these first 5, which are a great fundamental. And then once you know those tricks, you can use those tricks to create your own tricks. You should also know there's different ways of holding a kendama. There's Ken grip, where you put your pointer finger right under the small cup and your thumb right under the big cup, holding on to the sword. You lay the rest of your fingers below your pointer finger and you get comfortable with it. Some people like to grab it. Some people like to hold it. I recommend holding it with like a loose grip. There is Sara grip, where you hold the Ken upside down. This is actually the traditional Japanese way of holding a kendama. So the way I like to hold Sara is with my middle finger under the small cup, my thumb under the big cup, and the rest of my fingers lying wherever feels comfortable. You can even grab the small cup if that's better. So the first trick I recommend a new kendama player learns is called the spike. So you're gonna hold the Ken in Ken grip. You're gonna let the ball hang from the string. Make sure the string is taut. To help you out for your first time learning spike, I recommend spinning the tama. With your other hand, you're going to pinch the top of the tama and give it a spin. And it should be able to spin for a long time. So you can just be patient and let it spin. You're gonna hold the Ken straight up. Make sure you use your knees. Lift up the tama. Put the spike under the tama, under the hole, and let the hole go onto the spike, and that is your first trick, called the spike. So I know I made that look really easy because I've done this trick thousands of times. It's not gonna be that easy with your first attempt, but I promise you're not special. It usually takes a long time to learn this first trick. It is a very hard trick to learn, but I promise that it is quick to progress once you get it, it'll be really easy to get again. The biggest issue I see with this trick are people holding the ken a little bit too hard. So they'll grip the whole ken with their hand when I recommend using your fingers. Another problem is they won't hold the spike straight up. When they go for the spin, they'll hold the ken kind of like here, and you really want to make sure the spike is up before you throw the tama up. Another problem that I see is not having a good spin. So if you don't have a spin, an even spin, then when you pull it up, the hole is gonna be all over the place. So you wanna make sure that when you spin it, it's a good even spin. You can use the string, the string right next to the tama to make sure that the tama is spinning evenly, so the hole is straight down. And with that, the next really important thing to do is to make sure you pull straight up. Imagine a line, like the string is a line straight up, because if you pull to the right or to the left, the ball is gonna react and it's gonna go left or right. So if you have the spike straight up, the string down, the tama rotating evenly, you pull up and you pull up straight. If you put the spike right under the hole, it should go on. The second kendama trick that I recommend you learn is called big cup. You're gonna be in a very similar position like you are with spike, in ken grip with your fingers close to the cups, your fingertips on the ken, not your whole hand, and a nice loose grip. You're gonna let the tama sit with the string taut. You're gonna turn the ken this way so the string goes over the small cup, the big cup is up and it's even. Just like the spike, you're gonna use your knees, you're gonna pull the tama up, you're gonna put the cup under the tama to catch it. So again, I know I make that look really easy, and it's gonna be a lot harder for you your first time playing, but that's okay, that's totally normal. It takes a lot of time to learn these tricks, but I think it's really rewarding because of how difficult these tricks are. So some common problems I see with big cup are, first of all, they're holding the ken, again like spike, with their full hand. Maybe they're holding it down here. That's gonna be a lot harder to get onto big cup. You want a lot of your hand closer to the big cup so it's easier to catch. You wanna make sure that the cup is straight. And the most common problem I see is that the ball is moving every which way. So kendama uses your fine motor skills. It's not using major muscle groups like with soccer or basketball. You really want to concentrate and be very specific and delicate when you play kendama. With your opposite hand, you want to make sure the ball is super still. So you want to pay close attention to the ball, notice the string, and notice the tama and how it moves. Of course, there's gonna be some movement, but you want to limit the movement as much as possible. If you are trying to pull up to big cup and the tama is swinging like this, right? It's gonna be very hard to control that. So with your other hand and with this ken up, you wanna make sure the tama is still, and then you can bring the ken down, and then you can go for the trick. So if you've landed big cup, congratulations, you've landed your second kendama trick. If you're still struggling, that's totally okay. It's gonna take a long time to learn that trick because kendama is difficult and it takes some time to learn these tricks. But again, it's extremely rewarding once you get it. Another issue I see with big cup is sometimes they'll hit the cup and then bounce off. So make sure, if that's happening to you, that you really cushion the ball when you catch it on the big cup. You also wanna catch the ball at its apex. So when you lift it up, right when it starts to transfer down, right when gravity starts to pull the ball down, that's when you want to catch the ball. If you wait too long like this, it's probably going to bounce off. So make sure you use your knees, catch it at its apex. That's going to give you a much better chance to learn big cup. If you need some help with this trick, you can just use the other hand to drop the ball onto the cup. And you can even try to practice cushioning it. You can go higher and higher to really get a good feeling of it. And if you're struggling with the pull-up, I recommend just testing a few pull-ups, seeing how the ball and the string react. So the third trick I recommend learning is Sarah base cup. So you're gonna hold the Ken in Sarah grip. But this Sarah grip for base cup, I recommend holding it closer to the base cup rather than closer to the spike. So you can throw your pointer finger on one side of the base cup and your thumb on the other, and your fingers laying under your pointer finger. Just like big cup, you're gonna make sure the tama is hanging cleanly and it's still. The base cup is the smallest cup, so it's gonna be a lot different than the big cup. You really wanna make sure you cushion it, and you really wanna make sure that you place the base cup right under the tama, because if it's slightly to the left or to the right, it's just gonna fall off. Like big cup and spike, use your knees, that's very important in kendama. Lift the ball up, place the base cup under the ball, and cushion and catch it. So the grip is really important for this trick. If you're holding the Ken down here, it's gonna be a lot harder to get base cup. And if you're holding it too tight or you're holding it with your whole palm, you're not gonna get a lot of control on the base cup. So make sure you hold the Ken right. Make sure you catch the tama at its apex, so right before it starts coming down, and make sure you cushion it. So as the tama comes down, you bring the Ken under and you follow with the ball. It's gonna be a lot easier to catch it. All right, so now we're on to the fourth kendama trick. And that's gonna be a normal spike without spinning. I made this a separate trick because of the added difficulty from spinning spike. When the tama is spinning, the hole is gonna stay down, so even if you don't have a clean pull up, the hole or the bevel will stay down and it'll be a lot easier to spike. But when you don't have the tama spinning, it's much more likely that if you don't pull it up right, the hole is going to really move left or right or all around, and it's gonna be a lot harder to spike it. So make sure you get spinning spike really down before you try this trick, because this trick requires a lot of patience and a lot of control. The patience really comes into play with making sure the ball is still before you go for the spike. Of course, it might be spinning a little bit or it might be moving a tiny bit, but if you have any kind of movement like this, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you pull it up, it is a lot, or if it's wobbling back and forth, that's gonna be very difficult to do a spike. Lift the arm with the Ken up, use your other hand to make sure the tama is still, and then you can kind of be patient, really focus on the tama, on the string, on the Ken to get your first spike. So like spinning spike, you wanna make sure the Ken is straight up. You wanna make sure the tama is still. You can do a few of these where you grab the string, you move it all the way down so the tama is still. The most important part of this trick is a straight pull up. I remember really struggling the first time. I thought that I kept pulling it up straight, but in reality, based on the information I was getting from the tama, I was pulling it up to the right. So what I'd often do is pull it up like this, and the hole is gonna go straight up, which is gonna be really hard to spike. So as you can see, I'm gonna keep the tama still, I'm gonna put the Ken straight up, and I'm gonna lift straight up in the air. It's important to let the tama come onto the spike rather than trying to stab it with the Ken. It might be hard to know where the hole is when you pull up, because of course there's gonna be some movement with the hole. It's not gonna be perfectly straight down every time. But what you can do is look at the string hole on the top. The string hole is gonna be exactly opposite of the tama hole. So if you put the spike right under the string hole, then you know it's gonna go into the hole. It's a very difficult trick, but it's extremely satisfying. It's awesome to hear that sound and to feel the tama get on the spike. And once you get it once, it's a lot easier to get it twice and 3 times. So the last trick I recommend a beginner learning is called Moshia Kame. Moshia Kame is a Japanese trick. It's a very traditional way of playing kendama, and it's really important to learn. So for Moshia Kame, you're going to hold the Ken in Sarah grip, again with your middle finger under the small cup, your thumb under the big cup. And before you even try this trick, you want to make sure that you can bend your wrist and back and forth. The big cup can be up, and then the base cup can be up really quickly, because you're gonna need to know that for this trick. The first part of this trick is getting to big cup but in Sarah grip. So it's gonna feel a little bit different, but the elements are still the same. So you're pinching the Ken, you're holding the big cup up, using your knees, getting it on the big cup, and you're gonna transfer the ball to the base cup. So again, with your knees, you're gonna lift that tama up, move your Ken so the base cup is up, and then catch the ball on the base cup. And back. You should play with your grip on this trick because you can see that my grip on the big cup is right next to the big cup. But then when I move to the base cup, my fingers are all the way down here and not up by the base cup. So what I like to do is kind of move the base cup into my wrist. So I'm kind of holding it like a pencil. And then just kind of like moving my finger slightly just so it feels more comfortable. Again, if you want to, you can put your ring and your pinky under the small cup. And that might give you a lot more control. So when I first learned this trick, I found it very helpful to really push, use my knees, use my full body to go up and down with this trick. If you're having a hard time with this trick, try to move your grip around so you feel really comfortable holding the Ken. And if you're having an easy time with this trick, you should try to do it 5 times in a row or 10 times in a row. All right, so those were the first 5 tricks that you should learn. Spinning spike, big cup, base cup, spike, and Moshia Kame. Again, Kendama requires fine motor skills, which isn't usually used in a lot of sports today. So as you're learning these tricks, you're creating new connections in your brain, which I think is really cool. If you're having a hard time, it totally makes sense. I had a really hard time learning these beginner tricks when I first started. Just give yourself time. You know, you can put it down, come back to it, maybe wait a few days, come back, and I bet that your brain will catch up, and then all of a sudden you'll feel a lot more comfortable with the Kendama. If you've hit these 5 tricks and you're looking for more, I recommend downloading the Kendamas app. With the black bloom that you can buy on Amazon or on the Lotus Kendamas website, it comes with a trick list, a physical trick list with 60 beginner tricks that you can progress towards. But if you don't have the trick list, that's okay. You can just go on Google Play or the App Store, type in Kendamas and download it, and then you can get access to thousands of tricks for you to continue your Kendama journey. Okay, thanks.